Hello crypto lovers, today is November 14th, 2025, and here are the top crypto news stories. We'll start today's episode with our countries, and then we'll go to the US Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, and the CFTC from America, which are back up and running after a full 43 days, the longest shutdown the US government has ever had. So we'll also look at the numbers we didn't have, and apparently Mr. Trump signed the bill to essentially reopen the US government 5 minutes after I posted the episode. Moving on, we'll go to the Czech Republic, which is testing a Bitcoin reserve, but it's not an official reserve. Basically what they did was they bought $1 million in mostly Bitcoin, various stablecoins pegged to the dollar, and bank deposits as a trial period to see how things work. And we already know here at Crypto News that they will like it a lot. Another country that wants to buy is Taiwan, whose prime minister promises to issue a Bitcoin reserve assessment report by the end of 2025. So in Taiwan, they are exploring the creation of a national Bitcoin reserve, which will be backed by seized cryptocurrency just like the US did with its own reserve. So more and more countries are entering and creating reserves, as we have predicted. Moving on to our ETFs, I will tell you that without BlackRock, we are currently at minus $610 million for spot Bitcoin ETFs as of November 13th. For the spot Ethereum ETF, we are at negative $122 million, while for the Solana ETFs every day they have inflows. Small, yes, but for the time being they have inflows. And for our last ETF for today, which just launched, is the XRP ETF from Canary Capital, which yesterday closed the day with $58 million in inflows. And for comparison, the Solana ETF on its first day had $69.5 million in inflows, and that's why I'm saying this very simply, so you can go to the comments and complain. We'll move on to Grayscale, which has now officially filed to go public in the US, which we knew was going to happen. And let me remind you that Grayscale is one of the companies that has filed for multiple ETFs and has some of the largest in the market. Moving on to our other companies, we'll move on to Canary Capital, which has filed for an ETF and an ETF for a meme coin called Mog Coin, which is up 12% on the 7-day chart. Given how volatile the market is, that's a pretty good number. Why Canary Capital has issued an ETF for a meme coin that is not one of the largest in the market, we have no idea. And moving on, I will tell you that Emory University is doubling its Bitcoin holdings and has now bought another $52 million in Bitcoin through Grayscale's spot Bitcoin ETF, while Ms. Cathie Wood is buying Circle and has bought $30 million in this stock. The reason is, first of all, that if we look at the stock, it is at the same point since it opened, so someone said it was a good time to buy. Also, Circle announced a new service that wants to conquer the international market, and we are talking specifically about StableFX, which is a new service that aims to modernize the payment system. Specifically, this new service has been launched on the ARC testnet, which is Circle's private blockchain, and let's say that this service is aimed at the so-called foreign exchange, which is one of the largest financial markets in the world, with more than $9 trillion traded daily, and Circle, with this new service, wants to get a piece of the pie to modernize the market. From Circle, we will go to the latest news of the day, and we will go to Hyperliquid, as Hyperliquid lost $5 million when an unknown trader literally burned through $3 million in capital just to drive up the price of the Popcat coin and create liquidity. What happened, in a nutshell, is that this trader took $3 million, put it in Hyperliquid, and opened more than $26 million in a long position in Hyperliquid with Hyperhype and Popcat. So he created a wall at the price of 21 cents. So he told the market that the price would go up because he took a very large position. Many traders followed him and so on. However, he canceled his order, causing this wall that had been built to collapse, leading all prices to fall and triggering liquidations, resulting in the Hyperliquid wallet showing losses of $4.9 million from this move of the trader who literally burned these $3 million to cause simple damage to Hyperliquid and other traders. So we don't know why he did this, but maybe he wanted to say something with this move. It's time to go to our favorite cryptocurrency market with the price of $97,000. So let me tell you that with Bitcoin below $100,000, the liquidations exceeded $500 million. However, JP Morgan is talking about support at $94,000. So what is JP Morgan saying? JP Morgan says that the cost of producing Bitcoin is currently at $94,000. That is, to mine one Bitcoin, $94,000 must be spent historically. This has acted as a lower price limit, indicating that there will be additional losses. At the same time, JP Morgan remains confident in its vision that Bitcoin can reach $170,000 in 6 to 12 months. Let's say at this point that JP Morgan says that support will be in this price range. Crypto News has placed support a little lower at $92,000, a point where I expect Bitcoin to fall, to be honest, so we can buy low and watch it go higher, because without such a drop, you won't see a rise in any market. That wraps up the top news for crypto today, November 14th, 2025. I'd like to remind you that the content you just watched is created for educational purposes only and should not be considered as investment advice, but rather as investment opinion. Please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and feel free to comment. Take care, everyone, and have a good day.